little bit windy out here, but I got the floor painted. This is exterior gray paint, and I got a nice thick coat on it. So now what I'm doing is I'm gonna measure, and Dad's got a paper, and he's gonna mark down for my sort of threshold thing. And we got 72 and 3/8 length. But what I want to do is bend a piece of aluminum, have a hem for strength, and I don't want it to interfere with my door pin. So I'm going to run it just shy of it. And then I'm going to bend it over the front here, down, bend, down, and then that'll cover it in one piece without any cracks and no water can get in it. And it won't affect my ramp. So that's what I want to do. Dad's got the paper. We're going to start marking numbers. And I'll show you guys, we're going to use the aluminum brake Dad has. Alright, so we're going to make it the shape. So it's going to go like this, down, and then we're going to do a hem, like so. And a 3/4 inch hem. And then we'll measure. And to the hole, I want it about 2 inches across. So we're gonna mark this 2 up here, and then measure down. And I came up with a number of 3 all the way across. And then this is obviously 1.5 inches. And then down, whatever, probably. And the reason I don't want to stop here is because I don't want water flow. I want it to be all one piece, so it's nice. So we'll do probably 1 inch. So if we add our numbers up, 2, we have, so you have 0.75, then your 2, 3, 2, whoops, can't read my own handwriting, 1.5, and then another 1, and then 3/4. We'll add this up. 7, 5, 12, 19, 3, 6, 7. Got a total of almost 10, 8, 13, 20, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. So we're gonna need a 9-inch wide piece, and we should be able to get it out of that. And then it's gonna be this, let's see, what is it across? We'll measure, and we got 72 and 1/8. And we'll measure down here as well, and that's just a slightly larger, so we'll go with a shorter number, which is 72 and 1/8. So that's what we need to cut, and then we'll bend, use our measurements on the brake. So let's. Alright, found this piece of aluminum in Dad's building. This is 10 and 1/8 inch wide. So I think I want to keep the width because aluminum is gold nowadays, and it's already cut. And this is an 8-foot piece, and the piece I wanted was 72 and 1/8. So we're gonna cut the length first. Dad's got the.
Let's slide it right in the brake, and then it won't jump around on me. There.
And Dad's got the fancy cutoff tool, so mark this.
I used to do a lot of aluminum bending, but not so much anymore. Let's see your measurement again. There's no sense of bending the whole piece and then having to scrap when we can have a flat piece. 72 and 1/8.
Yep.
And then, how about if we mark it hard enough that you can see it? I can already see it. We're going to slide it down and cut it on the coil holder here. I'll slide them under, would you? What we're going to do is to slide it right through here. And then if you measure 1 1/2 inches farther and put a line, we like a line. Because the cutoff tool always cuts 1 1/2 inches longer. That's good. And then, now line your edge up straight on the brake, and then we know it's square in the machine. Close it, clamp it down some. let's line it up straight in the front. Line it up straight. What do you straight with? The front of this?
Yeah.
Alright, and then wait till I'm ready. I'm going to bring it down till it's straight on here, right there. My clamp. And then I don't have to do it, you can do it. Just take, this has the cutoff tool if you guys haven't seen it. These are awesome. They're pretty expensive. They're almost 400 bucks. But these wheels pinch your metal in there and cut it straight. This edge is not sharp, but two of them tight together is, and it's got rollers. And if you want to cut the metal, set the rollers on here, grip it, roll it back and forth, make sure you're on there, and that'll cut it. A lot of people will take their utility knife. Every time I see it online, somebody doing that, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money to be cutting on that thing. This is a Pro 19. No, this is a Pro 2000. And they're pretty expensive. So here's this length he wants. We clamped it 1.5 inches longer. Place, put your hand right on that guide and go one pass straight across. And that's it. Now slide your scrap out. We're all done with the cutter. I've got a other accessories on this too. I can make brick mold.
You want to keep it right here for the home or not?
No, because you're not all the way in the machine. So this piece is wider than it needs it. Would you say you needed a 9?
Yeah.
And this is what, a 10 and something?
10 and 8.
So just feel, make sure it's straight. And then clamp that in there. And then just bend up. That's it.
Then we turn it around.
No.
Yeah.
Set it in here. No. Means no. It goes like this. Clamp it down. Clamp it. No, clamp it. And then just take this and on the brake, wait a minute, on the brakes, hold on this metal. You see the hinge right here has a little pivot on it. And if you lift up on it, see this moves up and down? And you lift up and you can do a total hem. Dawson hasn't done many of these hems. He's got to lift the brake handle right up. No? And that'll bend that right over and make a 180. And then unclamp. Now every time you put a bend in this stuff, no, you're going to bend it like that. Let go. Every time you put a bend in this stuff, what's it do, Dawson?
Doubles the strength.
Oh, it makes it stronger and stronger. See how beautiful that is? That's a 180. And it's totally smooth. So if a lot of people would leave that edge in there and he's going to cut his fingers or it'll catch dust, he can sweep it out right with this. So
now we're going to do a 2-inch.
No, we're going to do the second hem because we're not going to measure, remember? Let's do the second hem. And then you don't even have to measure at this point. Don't lift it like that, you're going to bend it. Let it hang. You want to kink it, make it look pretty for Dawson's building out there. So we line it up. It's a 3/4 inch if he lines it up in the front edge. Right there, it's 3/4 hem.
Alright, I want to do this one.
Now look how much stiffer that is already. You got to clamp it
No,
first.
I want to do it.
Well, I'd like you to do it, but I want you to do it proper. Alright, now you don't kink it yet. It's still pretty weak. You see how beautiful that is? So now he's got two nice looking hems. Then we'll set it back in, right? And look on your plan. What's your plan say? What was it? Put a little pencil mark there because it's going to move. What is it?
2.
2 inches. So this will be his top piece. This is for people that don't want to know, that don't know yet, Dawson. Some people have never done a brake. So what he's got here, wait a minute. He did his hem and he did his hem. Now he's going to do his top. So on the side view, this is a 2-inch top, a 3-inch vertical, and 1 5/8 out, right? It's a little heavy on the 1.5 inch he wants to do. And then the down doesn't even matter in this case. We just want water to go down. So we're gonna let the excess piece hang down. It's gonna be a little bit longer than his 1 inch. So he's gonna do the 2 inch first, measure this again and put a mark. Don't be in a hurry and make it crooked, you know. Just make sure, because you move one end, it'll move the other end on these. Turn your, there you go.
It's good, it's already clamped.
That's 2 and it's clamped. So what do you want to bend?
90?
A 90 degree. Now do you want it more than a 90 or less than a 90?
Maybe a little less.
I'd go a little more. And so what that would do is this, Dawson. It would bend that down to the plywood. It would hold it tight to the plywood.
Are we nailing this or what?
I would put a couple little screws in it or something, like a threshold. But I mean, if he does it exactly a 90, the edge on the inside could get caught with a sneaker. I thought you said you were
I
clamped.
thought I was.
Yeah, I didn't think you were. So let's remeasure this now. Let's measure this before you clamp it. Don't be in a hurry. This is important because aluminum is $200 a roll now. It's getting a little bit, almost 200. It's getting a little expensive. So straight up is a 90, and I want him to go like 5 degrees farther. There you go. And what that would do is it's going to hold pressure. So when he pushes
it to the point, like a arrow. Yeah.
that way his sneaker won't catch on it. And if he wants to sweep dirt out of his building, it's not going to give him a problem.
So that's gonna be my top.
Let's show him what we got so far. See how pretty that is? And you see that's a little bit greater. So that's going to hold pressure. So when he pushes it in, it's going to, you know, hold it right
Now
down.
we're gonna make our second bend.
Yeah. How are you going to do this one?
We can do it like this.
Yeah. And what's your number on this one?
3.
Make sure your numbers are pretty accurate because it'll be bowed. I'd go a whisker over and save the
I
line.
am 3 and the 16th.
Just a whisker. Or mark it at 3 and save the line when we bend it, you know. And then that's the reason for the line, because see that just moved out a ½ inch. So if you like your line, I'll hold this one
Yeah, hold it.
right there so I can see my line. And I place my fingers right here, and I taught him,
Pinch it.
when he was 5 years old, probably even younger than that, right?
Yeah.
You helped me, and I said, don't put your fingers there, you get pinched. And I had him held it like this. Now what's this one want to be? Wait a minute. Don't get in a
It's gonna be
hurry.
90.
Huh?
90 as well, but
Not
we want
really
it
a
less than
90.
90.
Because you kind of want the water to run off. So I'd go like an 85 or... See, that's a little less than a 90. I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's show them what we got so far. Is let your end down a mile. This is your 2 inch top. Your 3 inch drop.
Now we want a 1 5/8, and then we want to bend it down, whatever excess we don't really care. That's what's hanging down over front.
Correct. And look at guys. Let go of it. See how stiff that is now?
Just
You
by
could,
the hems.
yeah. Look at what it was to start with. Stuff bends all over the place, you know. And this is going to be strong. The more you put in it, the stronger it gets.
So this is our 2 inch top.
No.
You can't flip it.
Yep. We gotta flip it over. No, this way. Like this. Yep. And you want 1 5/8 heavy, right? It's got to be enough that it's going to fit on that board. A lot of the deck boards aren't 1.5 inches. They're 1 5/8. So show me, because this is an important one. Yeah, it's got to be all of 1 5/8. You marked it. Yep.
Hold on your mark.
I'm on my mark.
Alright, we can clamp this.
Now I'd measure it before you bend it. Did it grow?
Nope.
Let's see this one. This one looked like it got bigger. And it didn't. Good. I'm happy. It's important. Now this one, wait a minute. We wanted 2, 3, 1 5/8. Now what degree do you want this one?
A little sharper.
Do you want it sharper to hold tight against it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want what? More than 90, right?
95?
Yeah. That way when he puts it in there, it's kind of spring load and hold it in place for him. I think this is one of the most important flashings in his building. Just a whisker more. That's pretty good. I've always, when I wrap a window or something, I like to go a little bit over so when I put it up there, it just springs right in place, you know? Yeah, what do we got here? Oh, that's beautiful. Which is the top?
Right.
This is the top?
It's going on like that.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's pretty. And show them how strong this thing is. It doesn't wiggle around. And this is paintable. And he can paint this any color he wants if he doesn't like the silver. I think the silver looks fine. And he won't see it unless the building's open anyway, right?
Right.
And I think when he goes to attach it, say it's going to go on here. When he goes to attach it, I think he could probably put a couple zip screws here. If he doesn't want them in the top, he could probably put them in the front.
Yeah, that's probably what
Something like that.
Yeah.
But this way, because it's got that slide over, see how these two are bent closer together? I think when he presses it on there, it's going to spring load and hold. Let's go test this bad boy out, Dawson. I think you did awesome. All right, now we're over at the building. Let's see if he did good. What I do is I like to measure because you get one chance usually to bend these. It's gonna look good being silver, isn't it? Aluminum finish. Tell me that doesn't look good, guys.
We're pretty good, aren't we?
We've done this once or twice, right?
Yeah.
Let's get down close and see what this bad boy looks like. Now, it clears your door, right? So there's where his locking pin is. It's going to protect that sheathing, and it's going to protect his base. That looks really good, don't it? Let's see how it looks on the edge. What I recommend on the edges is just a little silicone. That'll keep the water out of there. And wow, can you close your door up and see what it looks like? Maybe both doors? I think that's going to protect his building from the snow and wind, rain. Oh, that looks good on there. I'm not even sure I'd paint that, Dawson. That's attractive. Looks what's the word? Industrial, don't it?
That looks pretty good.
And it doesn't affect the way the door locks, right?
Right. And guys, we are ordering hook and eyes. They'll be here pretty soon.
So why don't you go ahead and lock that? Leave it right in there, right? Well, I press the lock. It's trying to lock on digital. So he's letting the paint on his floor dry tonight, and he'll probably hook these on with screws later. And before we close this, why don't you set your ramp up there carefully? Make sure your ramp still works. Don't drop it on there. Oh, that's going to work great, ain't it? So he said he didn't want it. Well, I didn't want it sticking up, because if this ramp is higher than the floor, when he backs his lawnmower out, he'll catch a ramp, throw the ramp off, and then the tractor will drop. On the way up in, the tire can handle going up. You know? Right. So that's a good idea. I think that's going to work great. And I like that industrial look, don't you? Oh, yeah. That looks good. Go ahead and shut your building up. See how she works. Just a little video, guys, just to show you some of the things we do. And I'd like to teach Dawson how to use the brake. He knows how to make some items. That's cool, isn't it? Yep. And now the rain and snow. And they're removable ramps. And I don't know if we showed you, but there's a brace he put across the wall. And they hook right on that brace, one on either side. Yep. And so now we were thinking on bringing the crusher run right up to it, because that's a treated board. And then he said he didn't like that idea, and I don't like that idea. And then I said we could build a ramp. And he said he didn't want a permanent ramp. And this is probably best, because you can still get like 6 inches of snow sitting there, still open your door up, you know. So that's a good idea. Just a quick video. Thanks for watching. show you some aluminum brake bending, and Dawson knows how to make all these flashings. He's pretty good at it. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Thank you for watching.